Hello, welcome to Body by Books. My name is Casey, and I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. Here at Body by Books, we try to redefine bodybuilding by basically fusing books and fitness, nutrition, all that fun stuff together as one big thing. I know it sounds kind of wacky, but stick with me, hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see what happens because I also do little experiments like this on here. And that experiment that we're doing today is going to be called Keto Chow. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's all over the internet. You can go to ketochow.xyz. We are not affiliated with them. I do not have a sponsorship from them or anything, but I will go over what I have experienced with their product. Out the gate, I'll just jump right into it. I ordered the starter kit, which comes with a shaker, a tape measure, mineral and electrolyte drops, 16 different packets of 16 packets of Keto Chow. They're not all different. Some of them are repeat flavors, but I mean, if you have two of the same thing, when you get 16 different 16 packets, that's pretty good. And it was pretty solid. Not gonna lie. It out the gate kept me satisfied for more than 3 hours. I would say every one of them at least 3 hours or more kept me like full, like solid. And some of them kept me full, like solid full all the way up to, like I said, 5 hours. And it's all based off of the fat sources obviously you're putting into it. It does come with a little book that tells you how to start off keto and all that fun stuff. And it also gives you a little calculator to figure out exactly how you want to measure out your fat sources that you're going to be putting into it. Because again, this stuff is keto chow. You're not just mixing it in water. It does not come with a bunch of fat already in it. You have to add the fat source. I will say that it is pretty good. Like it's got some really good flavors. If we're gonna go with just starting off with the pros, it, like I said, keeps me satisfied for a while. It's basically a multivitamin, and it has all the vitamins that you need in it, and including D, which is pretty awesome. It has electrolytes in it. Again, if you're a keto, you want to have electrolytes in your system because you're going to lose them really quickly. Your body will filter them out if you are on keto. So, pro tip: if you drink and you're on keto, you're gonna get some bad cramps because that's a diuretic, and it's gonna be a bad time. But anyways, there are tons of flavors. That's another pro. I do enjoy the amount of flavors that it has. It is the cleanest meal replacement kit that I've found so far. That's another pro. It honestly, there's so many things out there. A lot of them are plant-based, and the plant-based ones usually have less good quality ingredients. That's just how it's going to be. And anybody who's vegan or vegetarian is going to argue with that, but sorry, canola oil, not super great for you. Too high in omega-6. The other thing I really like about it is it's pretty versatile. If you use it, you can use it as a shake. You can make a meal replacement shake. You can make ice cream with it. You can make baked goods with it. There is a few savory flavors that exist. There is multiple seasonal flavors that usually drop every few months, and they're all solid seasonal flavors. So I will say overall that the quality of those is pretty good. Again, not sponsored, but I'm just throwing it out there. Pretty solid. So the cons that I had were that it's expensive. It is about $5. It's about $6 a meal. But if you calculate that out, $6 a meal twice a day, that's $12 a day if you did that twice a day. I did it once a day, and it worked. I'll get into how the experiment went. I'm just giving you pros and cons now. That way you have all that information. One of the other cons is that it has sunflower oil in it. That's like the worst ingredient, but it's like the last one on the list. So therefore, in my opinion, not bad at all. The other con that I had with it is that they make it seem a lot more complicated than it needs to be. There's a lot of stuff going into this, and they give you the book, they have a calculator online, you have to do all these things. Honestly, a couple servings of whatever fat you're looking for, and you gotta use a clean one. So avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, ghee. I will preface ghee with, it's gonna get chunky. So don't use ghee unless you want to eat it hot. If you want to do hot keto chow, which you can do, they have instructions for it. It's a solid fat to use, but literally it's a solid fat to use. So it's going to come out chunky. But anything that has a quick cooling point that will freeze like that, like ghee. Ghee is stable at room temperature, so it solidifies at room temperature. So anything room temperature that solidifies is you're going to be chewing through your keto chow, and I don't recommend that. But anyways, so this is how basically the experiment went for me. I was going to take keto chow once daily as a meal replacement, and instead of what I would normally eat. And then if I had results, then I would continue through the rest of the month. I used heavy cream and coconut oil mostly for my fat sources, and the website has like all these different ways of telling you how to do it and stuff like that, like I said, and it's not necessary to follow along with all that stuff. But after doing it for 2 weeks, I did notice about a half an inch change in my waistline. So I was like, well, I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to continue to measure my muscle mass just to see if it stayed. And that included measuring my biceps and such. So overall, throughout the entire month, I ended up losing about 1.5 inches around my waist, replacing only 1 meal a day with the keto chow itself. So it did work. It was effective. Would I recommend people be on this forever? Well, I wouldn't say I'd recommend people to do this necessarily, but it is very effective and it is pretty clean. So if you want to base it off of your own opinion, honestly, but it was effective for me. And if you're doing keto already to begin with, this is just another rocket fuel. It's an easy way to start clean, or at least cleaner than most people do when they start off keto. Dirty keto is a very well-known thing, and you can lose weight on dirty keto for sure, but I don't recommend that. So that is a thing that I would tell you, keep in mind. So like I said, maintain muscle mass. Lost inches around my waist in fat, specifically because I maintained muscle mass and I didn't lose bone density, because that's not how that works anyways. So yeah, lost weight, maintained muscle, didn't gain anything substantial, but still worked. And yeah, so I did. I would say that it was a solid experiment and it worked. So if you have any questions about the keto chow itself, if you want, I guess as a side note, my favorite in that little pack that started out was the chocolate peanut butter. That was my go-to, and that's the one that I'm probably going to continue to consume, because I have another experiment that I want to move forward with that includes keto chow and another diet plan fused together, which I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be fusing diet plans together to come up with all sorts of chimeric diets and plans, because if I didn't experiment with everything, then what would be the point of this channel? So anyways, I'd like to thank you for playing, and I'll catch you on the next one.